Okay, so this is the first episode of the Jay Harris PT podcast. As most of you will know, and as you can see, I've got my good friend Tom Pollard, who's also a client of mine. I had no hesitation in wanting Tom as me first guest on the podcast because I know we've got quite an interesting background of stuff to speak about. So, as always, well, what I'm going to start doing with the podcast is letting the guest introduce themselves, just tell everyone a little bit about yourself. So, Tom, just introduce yourself a little bit.
Hello, chicken nugget. Just joking. As you can see, first of all, can I point out my amazing background?
That is pretty cool, that, to be fair. Pretty
Do
cool.
you know what I mean? 21st century technology. Woo! Well, anyway, so bit about me. Obviously, my name's Tom. As Jay said, you probably see me on his Instagram a lot, falling over and hurting myself in the gym. That is literally just 2% of our sessions. You know, luckily, you get it on camera. I'm 27. I'm currently a ops manager for a growing brand, Balls Deep Bar on Seal Street, Sass Cafe on Teflon Street, and then we're looking to expand in other areas, mainly in the northwest. And that's keeping me on my toes, keeping me busy, which is good. Yeah, that's a little background about me, I suppose. The rest is boring. You don't need to know the rest.
That's one thing. Obviously, like the main reason you started the sessions is obviously working in like the hospitality side of things. So, like, how long have you been in the hospitality business now?
Probably coming on now about 7 years, touching 7 years.
7 years, yeah. So,
yeah.
Like, what impact has that had on you, like physically, mentally, everything, like over the past 7 years?
Oh, massively! It changed my whole lifestyle completely. Obviously, I started off working out in Sainsbury's. You know, a little retail job. I think the latest I'd finish was 10 p.m. You know, I'd be home by 10:30, catching up on EastEnders and Curry. So, that was the life. It was great, yeah. And then it just got a bit boring, a bit repetitive for me. You know, there was no buzz to it. So I dropped into the hospitality industry, as many people do. And yeah, it changed my lifestyle completely. You know, I was partying more, you know, I was experimenting, you know, I'll be honest, you know, I was experimenting with drugs, doing all kinds, fast food, ridiculous. Because you're finishing at like 2, 3 a.m. sometimes, you know, sometimes later.
Yeah.
So all you want to do after a 12-hour shift is have a shot, have a pint.
Yeah.
Go out, party, and then finish off with a kebab. So I think, you know, in terms of lifestyle, massively changed, you know, it could have got dangerous.
So, like, you've been doing hospitality for like 7 years. So how many years out of that 7 do you reckon was like that, you know, like drinking after work and like a takeaway after work and that?
I think the first 2 years of my hospitality career, so to say, is when I really hit it hard. You know, I met a new group of friends who we all have the same common interest was let's go out after work and get bevied. But it wasn't a case of once a week. It was every shift.
Yeah.
It was finish our shift and we'd go out and we'd end up in good old Tiki Joe's till 6 a.m. You know, absolutely smashed. And that was the norm. You know, you'd get your wage and it'd be like, right, let's spend it on booze. You know, I think that first 2 years I hit it so hard. And even after that, you know, it was still party, but not as excessive as them first 2 years of the hospitality industry. You know, it killed me off way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like you just said there, that it killed you off. So, like, in what way did it like make you tired for work, or was it just drinking and all that just made you physically feel like just deflated and like unenergetic?
Yeah. I would say unenergetic. I'd say, you know, I was looking forward going into work because after the shift we'd have a drink and we'd go out, and you know that was enjoyable to look forward to. But in the sense of how I felt physically, you know, I'd sleep all day. If I was in at 5 p.m, I weren't getting up till 3, half 3.
Yeah,
that was the norm. That was literally the norm. You'd go to work, you'd go out, you'd go home and sleep, and then you'd get back up for work, and that was the cycle I got in.
How long did it take for you to get out of that rut, or are you still in that type of rut? I say rut, but it's not so much a rut, it was just kind of that routine, should I say, it's probably the better word out. Are you still in that routine now, or has that changed over the past couple of years? Kind of looking forward more to the drink side of stuff rather than going into work. Not that you weren't going into work, but going into work solely just to work, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think the changing point for me is when I actually seen this as a career, as in, wow, I can actually do well in this and go far and make something big out of it. I think it was that switch of, right, I need to stop going out all the time. I need to actually focus on the job I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah.
Luckily I was surrounded by friends that supported me, and I think there's a tight group knit that of us in hospitality that have gone through that, and that we're still friends today. One's an ops manager for Ghetto Golf, one's a GM at Ghetto Golf, and so on and so forth. We've all kind of gone our separate ways in the hospitality, but I think it was the same for everyone. It was just that switch of, wow, this is serious,
Yeah. I think the good thing with you, Tom, is that even in Sainsbury's, you always get good job roles, you always work hard and you get the job roles and you get promotions, and that hasn't changed obviously in the hospitality.
Definitely.
You really went obviously I think what was it, bar supervisor, and then now your operations.
Literally just started as a bartender. It was a case of, I was as a manager in Sainsbury's, and the gamble I took to leave that career to just be a bartender was massive. And then I just loved it. The minute I stepped foot on that bar, it was just something I wanted to do, and the progression was quick to bar supervisor, to bar manager, to assistant general manager, to eventually general manager, and then obviously working for different companies and getting that experience and background, what I wanted in order to get where I am today. It was quick, but it's not because it's just been given to me. I have worked hard to get where I am today.
Well, I remember the time when you took that jump from Sainsbury's to beer keller, which was your first job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, wow, you were 16 or so when you started in Sainsbury's, and within what was it, 12 months, 18 months, you were manager. And I remember wow, you've really, at that point I was thinking you've made it. At 18 I was you're manager of Sainsbury's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you took that jump and it was just behind the bar, let's say, I was oh wow, that's a risk.
Yeah, it was a risk.
What was the reason for you leaving Sainsbury's in the first place? Because as you said, you were finishing at 10 o'clock. You had your nights, you had your days planned, and what was the reason for leaving?
I think the pinnacle for me was originally, obviously, I was based in Liverpool in the East Prescott Road store, where my dad worked for years. It was him who got me in when I was 16, and on the hood down, I thought, yeah, this is great, this is fantastic. I wanted a car, I wanted to go on holidays, and the only way I was going to get that was by working hard and getting them promotions in order to get more money. And then I moved to Warrington to open a new store in Chapelford, and I really didn't enjoy it from the get-go. The traveling was a bit hard, and you only think, oh, Warrington 20 minutes up the road, but I'd do an 8-hour shift in Sainsbury's, and I'd do, say, a 16-hour shift in beer keller, and I'd feel more from the 8-hour shift in Sainsbury's. It was just, it sucked the life out of you. And that's not me mocking it in the slightest, or saying, anyone who works in supermarkets doesn't have a soul, because that's not what I'm saying. My dad still works at Sainsbury's, and Jay, my dad very well. He's the most lovable ever, and he goes in and he'll have a great time. But I think for me, it just wasn't working. I got to that point, I just wasn't enjoying it. Something new, I needed a change, and that was me get out, the bar.
How come you went into hospitality in the first place? How come you moved from, how come you didn't, let's say, go from Sainsbury's to Asda or whatever? How come you went from Sainsbury's to a completely different job at the time? What was the reason?
The whole thing behind it was a friend of mine, obviously, himself, James Doran. He worked in Sainsbury's briefly with me for, I don't know, maybe 2 months. And then he left to get a job in the bar, which was beer keller. And, he'd tell me about, the tips are amazing, the atmosphere is great, the football's on, all this and all that. And he used to be telling me this, and I used to be like, God, where's my buzz? Do you know what I mean? I'm going in, stacking shelves and taking deliveries in on a freezing back door at 6 a.m. Like, why is he getting all the fun and I'm not? And I remember him saying, there's a job there for you, you know, come, it'll be great. And I slowly did it. And I remember telling my mum and dad, were like, what are you doing? No, don't be doing that. You know, you don't want to be working at a bar. And, you know, he let me make my own decision. I mean, I think I was 18 anyway, so I was going to do it. But, you know, out of respect, you know, I do listen. I still, to this day, even though I'm 27, I still take my mum and dad's advice. It's the relationship we have. But it was a case of James saying, just come, you know, you can make all these tips and have a laugh and watch footy. It sounded amazing. I wanted to take, you know, so for me it was, right, I'm borderline depressed. I'm an 18-year-old kid. I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, I want to have fun. I want this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so that was it. Yeah, it was literally. Well, I've got James Doran to thank for that.
So, like, what's interesting there is, as you said, it's been 7 years or so. I want to know what like impact it had on you, like physically. So, like, whether it was tiredness or like your routine of eating, drinking, has that changed you at all over the past 7 years? I know you said the first 2 years were quite bad in terms of you going out after work and that, but obviously the higher job roles you've had, like, has that changed you? Has it made you, you know, your hours longer at all, and you struggle to get like a routine of food and drink and stuff in your like daily, or you know, what was your routine like?
Yeah, I think, you know, as I've got the promotions and progressed, and especially when I got to the level of general manager, you know, that's a hard job. You know, credit to every GM out there. You know, everything that happens, it falls on the GM, no matter what it is. So the stress that comes behind that and the pressure that comes from ops and so forth is so much. You know, there was times I was doing 60, 70-hour weeks. I ain't cooking. You know, I'm doing 60, 70 hours a week. I'm not going out and I'm not going to start cooking. I'm getting takeaways, you know. I'm getting a Mackie. I'm getting, you know, when I worked in Manchester, I'm going next door and getting a pho. It's quick. You want that quick food. You want that energy now. You know, I haven't got time, and you think, oh, maybe I'll prep next week. When? You know, when I'm not working 70 hours a week, I'm sleeping. I'm trying to rest and recover. So I'm getting up at silly times. I'm skipping breakfast. I'm not drinking water because I want them sugary drinks to get the energy. You know, I want the chocolate to get me energy. And before you know it, you put on 4 stone, which is the reality of it. And do you know what I mean? When I started beer killer, oh my God, like I was slim. I really was. And I think 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you know, I got to a stage, I was massive. Like for me, like I look back at them pictures and it makes me sick. And, you know, it comes to that lifestyle. As I said, you're doing 70 hours a week. I'm not cooking. I'm not.
Like it's a good job you've just said that, because that's kind of what I was going to move on to next. Where over obviously the past years, like I don't know, your first 4 years, as you said there, kind of from beer keller onwards, you noticed you were putting weight on and stuff. But for some people, they don't realise that they put weight on. So was there a certain time where you, as you said, you kind of look back at photos now and you see yourself when you start to be a guy, you're like, wow, the difference. So, was there like a time there, like, has there been a time over, say, the past 7 years where there was one time in particular where you was like, wow, I need to like change here?
Yeah, I mean, I think as I got older, I always knew I'd put the weight on. I always knew that. I knew that I wasn't that slim 19-year-old who first started that beer keller. I knew that. I think for me, when it got to the point where it was enough was when I moved to Manchester to run a bar restaurant there. I got to just under 16 stone. Now, bearing in mind now I'm 13.7 now. And that's only a year ago. And I was depressed, mate. You know, I'd put a top on and I'd look in the mirror and I wouldn't want to leave. You know, apartment. My shirts were like popping open, but I was in that stage of, I was putting a large shirt on, or like say a 16 and a half, 17 inch collar, and it was popping open. But if I'd go to that XL or 18 and a half shirt, it looked like a bloody curtain.
Yeah.
I couldn't win, and I was getting so frustrated and agitated. I remember one day just opening my wardrobe and shoving all my clothes in the bin bag and taking them downstairs and throwing them in the bin and being like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, it was very close to being very depressed. You know, I didn't like looking at myself. I'd look at pictures and I'd hate it. I'd avoid pictures. Someone would want a picture, I wouldn't want to be in it.
Yeah.
You know, it got to that stage and I was like, right, something needs to change.
Like, what was the main factor in that? I mean, I know we said there you were going out drinking and partying and that, but that was mainly the first 2 years. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what was the next 3 or 4 years? What do you think was the reason for the weight gain? Do you think it was just a mixture of your lifestyle in terms of your working hours, your food, what you was drinking on nights out and stuff? Do you think it was just a mixture of everything, or was there anything in particular that was kind of the culprit for it?
You know what? I could easily just say, oh yeah, it was the ale, but I think the main culprit was the takeaways, if I'm being honest with you. The takeaways and lack of exercise.
Yeah.
The only exercise I was getting really was in work, walking around and whatnot. But I'd have a gym membership. I was paying like £15 a month for 4 months, and I didn't go once.
Yeah.
You know, but my mindset was, well, I've got a gym membership, so you know I can go if I want to, but I didn't. Definitely for me, it was the food. You know, the lifestyle of that and the diet I had was atrocious. It really was. You know, the calories I must have been intaking, it's scary to think, to be honest with you.
What do you think your calorie intake was at that time?
Oh, I think Manchester was peak for me when I moved to Manchester. I think that was the start of, well, I was eating pretty bad. I'd say on a Saturday, easy, I was consuming 2,000, if not more calories.
Yeah.
Easy. And for my size, I'm in like 5'6". I should not be consuming that many calories with no exercise. It was probably more, if I'm being honest, because you had the 2 pints after the shift, or
yeah,
you know, the cans of Coke you have. That's probably, I'm just talking food there. It was just constant. You know, it was just eating all the time.
So like Manchester, as you said there, was kind of like the time where it kind of hit you hard one time. I remember it was less than a year ago now, wasn't it? I think when we went to footy was September, October, which was like the first time me and you had seen each other in a while. And we went and watched the footy after it, and I remember being sat there with you and you were saying like, I need to change.
Yeah.
As a PT, like, you can imagine how many people say that to me and go, oh, I need to do this, I need you to train me, I need you to do this. But there was something, I remember coming back home and I was saying, like, I'm going to end up training Tom. And I just knew, just by how you were wording it, because there was something like behind it where I was like, yeah, like, he's not in a happy place in terms of how he's feeling, like, physically and that. And I remember when we played footy and we didn't play for long, but I remember you saying, like, I am knackered here, and you were saying, like,
I was gassing.
And you wanted to go in goal a little bit longer. And
I literally felt like I was going to keel over and have a heart attack, like, legit.
Was that one of the turning points for you as well, like that game? Because as I said, it wasn't a long game, but there wasn't many of us. It was a small pitch.
Oh yeah.
Was that like one of the reasons? Was that one of the wake up calls for you as well, where you kind of played footy for the first time in a while?
Yeah, I mean, I've always played footy, you know, all my life, and I've always been quite fit. You know, I'm a decent enough player, so I was quick. You know, I was known. I used to play left back, and I was quick.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, getting in the job I was in and the lifestyle I got in, I fell out of the football. You know, all my mates still lived in Liverpool. I didn't really make the effort to make friends in Manchester. It was all about my career, if I'm being honest with you. So I didn't have them mates to play football, so I kind of fell out. So that game we played, I remember it very well. I remember after it was like that was the last thing for me. It was like, right, something needs to change. I cannot be this tired after 5 minutes of running. Like, that's insane. Absolutely insane. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't smoke. I don't, you know, it's not like it's in my lungs. I felt asthmatic. I'm not even asthmatic.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Like my chest had closed, and I just thought, no, this is it now.
Yeah.
Like this is it. And that's when I had the conversation with you. I was like, I need your help.
Yeah. Well, I remember it. I remember that conversation really well because, as I said, the amount of people that come up to you if they haven't seen you for a while, oh, you need to train me, I need to do this, I need to do that. But there was something when you said it, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to end up training him if he stays in Liverpool and doesn't like go to Manchester, or because I think he just started a new job at this point, and I was like, if work doesn't get in the way, I know I'll end up training him. And literally, within a week or two, you started with me.
I started, yeah.
And we'll remember that first session till the day we die, because obviously for two reasons. One, I remember the first session with almost everyone, 99% of people, it's like totally different to the body. It's like the body's in shock. They're doing things out of the comfort zone and that. But then 2 weeks after that, I didn't see it again, and it wasn't because you couldn't train. Well, it wasn't because you didn't want to come back. It was literally because something else prevented it, and you wasn't well for 2 weeks. Like really,
I was really ill.
And that kind of makes me like looking back now, because I had what you had, and mine was not long after Christmas. And that Christmas, when I had it, like I really went all out at Christmas, like eating whatever I could, drinking cans of Coke, like. I don't think you've ever seen me drink a fizzy drink in like
literally
8 or 9 years or something.
Literally never.
Like, so I like went out, and then about a week after going back to work, I was off with what you had, and it makes me think: is this something down to more than just your body being in shock? Is it like because your lifestyle's been quite bad that your body's literally just given up? Well, not giving up, but it's in that much shock. You're just like. Crashed out.
I was great after that session. Literally, I remember having to leave the gym. I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a heart attack. I remember my body shaking and I was sweating, and I looked on my phone. I got the camera on, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is wrong with me?" But it's interesting you say that. Yeah, you know, could that have been a factor? You know, maybe that illness was coming up and that just sped it up.
Yeah.
Which is what I think. I think that was always coming, but that session definitely wrote me off and could have put me off, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And it could have. Yeah, well, that was the worrying thing for me, because, like, I remember you saying, "Oh, like I'm not well," and I think we had I think we were doing one a week at this point. And like you said, a couple of days after, like, "Oh, I haven't been well at all," and it came to your session, you was like, "Oh, I can't make it," and then it came to like the week after, and you was like, "I still feel really bad."
Yeah.
I remember saying, I was like, I think I've put him off here. Like, I think his first ones really wrote him off, and we only done about half an hour as well, because
it wasn't a full one. I physically couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I physically couldn't do it.
I was thinking if I pushed him too hard, whereas I was thinking, no, it's kind of how we ease people in. I was like, I don't know, just something was saying, "Oh, I hope he hasn't stopped already." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally, you came back in that time. I'd moved gyms, and then. You went from 1 session to 2 sessions, from 2 sessions to 3 sessions. So
3,
I want this isn't like to big myself up or, you know, get compliments off you or anything, but I want to know how the sessions have impacted your life for the past, it's been 9 months now that you've been doing them, roughly on and off. As I said, you know, whenever I do a post, I'll always say, you know, you've opened the bar, we've had Christmas, we've had your birthday, we've been ill, you've been on holiday. There's been so many things that we've done in the time that you've been training, but we've still always tried to get the 3 sessions in a week. So I just want to know what type of impact it's had on you over the last 9 months, like physically, mentally, anything really.
Oh, massively. Obviously, the big one is physically. Like, you know, as I said, when I left Manchester, I was just under 16 stone, and now I'm 13.7, and that's not because I've just stopped eating and I've fasted for the past 9 months. That's because I have gone from 1 session to 2 sessions to 3 sessions. You know, we weigh myself at the start of your session probably once a week. You know, we'll take photos, which eventually we'll post. But you know, the change is massive, massive. Like for the first time in forever, I'm body confident.
Yeah.
And you know, mentally I feel good. Physically, I feel good. You know, I remember playing football just before lockdown.
Yeah.
With the lads, my mates, group of mates I've got. I remember one of the lads, Jack, saying, "Are you going to start running? Like, what is going on?" And I just felt it made me feel really good about myself, because if you go back to the first time we played football, I was nearly dying after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I'm running for an hour non-stop, and I could go on and on. Yeah. And, that's all down to, obviously doing the sessions with yourself and being so focused on the goal I want to get to. And with the help of you, it's helped me massively, absolutely massively.
I've always said, like I'm not your typical trainer who's one of them who like screams at people. I'm not one of them trainers who, if I see it on a photo with a bottle of Corona or something, one of them who's like, why are you eating, why are you drinking that? That's not my type. Like I've always said, I'll always try and make the sessions fun, and as you said in the introduction, like I don't think I've ever seen someone fall or trip over what, like, just the things that go on in our sessions. And as you said, that's literally 2% of like what we get up to in there. But I always try and like make them as fun as possible. Like I will film little funny parts, or we will have a laugh and we will have a joke and things like that. And I think for me, I find it's always worked. The results may be a little bit slower in terms of you could be 13 stone 5 right now instead of 13 stone 7. You know what I mean? Like results could be, but sometimes I feel like it's certainly with me, I'd sooner have someone who's, I'm not bigging myself up, but I'd sooner have someone who's approachable, like funny to be around. We have a laugh, it's not too serious.
Oh yeah, it's not too serious. I think one of the main things as well is
you see results as well, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the main thing.
Yeah, and I think with yourself, and again, it's not picking you up, but we're talking about the podcast, so let's talk serious here. I'll always be honest. That, Jay, I'm 100% honest.
Yeah.
I don't beat around the bush. If I think something's wrong, I'll say something's wrong, and if it's right, I'll say something's right. But I think you go that extra mile, and not with just me, because we've been mates for so long, but I know other clients you train, and you do the exact same to them.
Yeah.
It's a little, just like the thing I look forward to is seeing the video.
Yeah.
That you on Instagram, that little video of, because you see yourself then, you're like, wow, I have come far, and from where things like that you look forward to, that I can't wait to see this video. And I speak to, I think you probably have, feels that exact same way. And again, that's not speaking you, that's just speaking the truth.
Yeah.
The little check-ins, little WhatsApp messages, how's your food been today? What have you done today? That helps mentally. It really does. Because I think if, I did have a PT that I just seen at the session, and that was it, and didn't do the videos, didn't do the little WhatsApp messages, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. Of course, I would be in a better position than I was a year ago, but definitely would not be where I am today. And I think that helps massively. As you said, give that little bit of fun factor, and the more personal touch, personal trainer.
Yeah, exactly.
The key word, personal.
Yeah, exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah. And I think, as you said, we've knew each other. We've been best mates since what, year 9, 10, something like that, where we just literally hit it off, like, because we were in like different bands, as they called it in school. We didn't really communicate. We were never in the same class for anything until everything merged within like year 9 or year 10, and instantly we hit it off. And my personality, I'd say more than anyone. I never take anything serious. Not that I don't take anything serious. I don't take myself too seriously. And you're exactly the same. Like we're professional with what we do, but we have the best laugh doing it. Like doing our jobs, doing our bike rides, anything like, and I think that's why, the amount of messages you get about the sessions, the amount of messages I get about your sessions, like, and I think people see that, which is what I want. That's why I do the videos. I want people to see like the bond that we have in there.
I think it's key. Our sessions are, as you said, they're brilliant. And it's not because we have been, best mates for 12, 13 years. Maybe it is, maybe we do have that. We bounce off each other, that comedy factor. we always said we'd love to have a TV show. Imagine, the laughs, it'd be insane.
Gogglebox is our next step, isn't it?
And so forth. But, I know clients that you train as well that still have that same laugh with you that we have, and I think that's just your personality that rubs off on the clients, to be honest.
I'd like to think so. I mean, I said in terms of, with the sessions as well, one thing that you started doing around, I want to say around November, December time was KO, the nutrition.
Yeah.
So, KO nutrition, for those who don't know, basically like it's not a food supplement, but they're a healthy eating company.
Yeah, meal prep.
Meal prep, yeah, that's the right word. Meal prep company. You basically, you can choose your package and what suits you, and they'll tailor it for you and everything like that. I want to know what kind of effect that had on you, and how tempting was it to throw your sweet and sour in the bin and go to Mackey's or go to Lobster Pot or something like, because I have them myself like you, and as nice as they are, sometimes you can go, I'd love XXX, whatever, do you know what I mean? So you're working in town, you're in the middle of takeaway central.
Yeah.
How hard, or did you just get in the routine? I want to know, like, what impact did that have on you?
Yeah, I mean, first off, the meals are great. They are, they taste phenomenal. So that helps. Usually people think, healthy eating tastes rubbish. Nah, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
The range of variety the guys at Co-Ab is as you said, working in town, working late nights, running a late night bar. It's the guys, the team, and work at Mackey's and Lobster Pots. It can be easy to just be like, yeah, go on, get me a sausage dinner or get me a Big Mac meal. The way I see it was, if I'm doing that, one, I'm spending money on getting the Mackey's, and then two, I'm throwing me money in a bin because I'm not going to eat me meal prep.
Yeah.
So I forced myself to buy, I think it was a 4-week plan. I think it was a month's plan. And they did an offer. I think it was 50% off actually, to get the month. So I committed to that. That was a commitment of, right, their meals are coming regardless. So I can either eat them and get on with the great lifestyle that I've found, or I may as well just get me money and throw it in the bin and then spend more money on rubbish.
Yeah.
And the guys in work used to, tease me all the time because now there's Co everywhere. Honestly, the fridges was full of it. It was chili, sweet and sour. Everything is everywhere. But no, I think that was key for me massively. That was a big key factor of the lifestyle change, because I can easily do 3 sessions with you a week, but if I'm coming home and eating rubbish, what's the point?
Exactly. That's
Again,
it. Yeah.
It's just wasting money. I'm paying for a service, but then I don't want to be the type of, oh God, why am I still fat? It's because I'm going home, scrambling a load of Mackey's, ordering a big fat KFC. So Co was huge. It really was. Up until probably lockdown, where I haven't really had one, but luckily for me, I've kept that food clean, which I'm quite proud of. I've really enjoyed cooking. But yeah, Co's brilliant.
There's another thing as well, as you say. You're having you were having your KO every single day for 3-4 months, something like that, until lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And one worry for me when lockdown happened was with my clients. I was thinking, oh no, we can't get in the gym. What's their lifestyle going to be like?
Yeah.
Are they going to stop training and whatever else? But then Mum was like, what about the food? Like, the food is the biggest thing. You can go for walks, you can go for a run, you can do whatever you want. But obviously, you've been sending like your food, like some photos, and like it does look like unbelievable.
Honestly, I think I'm Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen. Like, if anyone comes to my space, I'm like, get out the way, I'm cooking. You know what I mean? I get aggressive. I'm like, get away from me, green beans. Like, but no, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying cooking like the healthy meals, and I'm eating less. I'm finding I'm eating like less red meat and stuff, and I'm experimenting with more of the vegetarian side, which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
And and I'm proud. I'm taking photos and I'm sending them to my dad. I'm like, look at this. Yeah, I'm sending to you. I think I've tweeted one, a collage.
Yeah.
Who do I think I am? Jamie Oliver. I'm making collages of food. But no, you know, I think finding the enjoyment in that has helped.
Yeah.
If I hated cooking, maybe I'd be getting ready meals and banging them in the microwave.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky in that aspect that I actually do enjoy cooking, and I do like experimenting with different ingredients and keeping it healthy.
You mentioned before about footy as well, and as I said, we played footy in October, something like that. September, I think it was. And as you said there, like after a couple of minutes, you wanted to go and goal. You were tired, like you were knackered. You were really out of breath and that. But then me and you played footy in January again, didn't we? With like a couple of lads that we've knew for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I remember you sprinted for the ball, and I remember saying this to you in the car after.
Yeah.
You sprinted for the ball, and I was like, oh no, like he's going to be absolutely knackered here. Like this was like straight away. In fact, no, tell lie, you don't want early, and I was like, actually, it doesn't look too bad. And then literally about half an hour later,
it was literally 5 minutes in. Yeah.
Just sprinted after the ball.
It was mental. Yeah, like I couldn't believe it. Like I just had this like I've seen that ball. I was like, that ball's mine. Like, and I'm getting there. I am getting there, and I remember sprinting for it, and I got the ball, and I was like, I still feel great.
Yeah.
Like, what is this feeling? Like, I felt like I was 15, 16 again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That was like a turning point for me. That was where I was like, right, here we go. Because I can do before photos, I can do after photos, I can see on the scales that you've lost a stone or whatever. But like you still might not feel in the best shape, even though you're doing that. How many boxers have you seen that lose so many pounds before a fight, and they're literally dead on the scales and stuff? Sometimes like I've always said, numbers on scales don't really matter. That's why we always do the photos.
We always
and I just remember you sprinting for that ball, like towards the end of the game, bear in mind as well. And I was like, wow, like, and I remember you went for a run with the ball, like you done whatever you had to do with the ball. And I remember looking at you, and I was thinking, he's gonna like be knackered after this. And you just started trotting back. And I was like, wow. And that was the turning point for me there. That was where I was like, right, like this is the start of something good here.
Yeah. And it's stuff like that, where you notice in yourself, like, wow, 4 months ago, sprinting for a ball wouldn't even come into the equation. Like, I'm not doing it. And it's the turning points in your life, like that moment where you're like, right, okay, the change is happening. I'm feeling this, physically. I'm feeling great. As I said to you, we finish after an hour, and I could easily carry on, easy. And that's such a good feeling. I haven't felt that for years. And it's just brilliant.
Like, before we wrap this up, I want to speak about lockdown, because obviously we're still in it now. We've been in it for about 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that.
Yeah.
And as I said, for me, with all my clients, it was a worry, even for myself, because I love work and I'll work from whatever hours I have to. And I was thinking, like, this is going to affect me. But to be honest with you, in terms of how I feel physically, like, I feel fitter than ever at the moment. Because obviously I'm doing bike rides with yourself, and I'm doing workouts every day for the YouTube channel. But I want to know how lockdowns affected you and helped you in any way. I want you to tell me how you feel locked down, because I know personally from being with you most days during lockdown, bike rides and that, how you are. But I want to know how lockdown, or I want you to tell people how lockdowns kind of impacted you and affected you and whatever else it has done.
Yeah, physically, it's been fantastic. And obviously, being in a lockdown situation is rubbish. It's rubbish for everyone. Everyone just wants to get back to normal. But I'd be sitting here and lying if I didn't say this is the fittest I have ever felt, ever. Where I'm doing a 40, 50k bike ride and I'm not tired at all. It's insane. Yeah. Like, if you said to me a year ago, in a year's time, we'll do a 50k bike ride and you could go for another one.
Yeah.
I'd tell you to jog on, Yeah. For me, it's helped my fitness massively in terms of cardio. cardio is always something I've been scared of. I just don't like doing it, but I enjoy our bike rides that we go on, and you know, it's something I look forward to. And feeling physically fit is amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back playing football because God, I'm going to be God knows I'm going to think I'm Usain Bolt or someone, or you know, it's great. It really is.
Well, like that's another thing, because can you still hear me there? Because my microphone's saying it's gone off.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing that's kind of always kind of, as I said, worried me with lockdown, is how it's going to have an effect on people's fitness more than anything else.
Yeah.
And like we both kind of said, you know, when lockdown happened, you know, this doesn't mean that we can't do anything. Do you know what I mean? We can find ways of doing stuff. And from the get-go, we kind of said we'll do like socially distanced bike rides and whatever else. And I remember we went on our first one, and it was on a Sunday, and we met up about 9 o'clock, and we done it, but we had like stop-offs, didn't we? We had like 2 stop-offs.
Yeah.
And that wasn't necessarily because we were tired. It was just kind of the norm. Let's have a little breather here, and then we'll ride, and then let's have another breather.
Yeah.
And one reason that I've wanted to carry on doing these bike rides is obviously because I know it's helping you a lot. So as I say, you know, there's been times where we've woke up at 6 and we've gone, so tired, and my knees are sore from whatever. But let's go out and do it. Once we're on it, we're doing it. And we've done, I mean, I don't know how many kilometres we've done in like this lockdown. But like I've said to you recently, like your fitness has just gone so much better. We're going up hills that I never imagined us going up 2 months ago, do you know what I mean, on a bike. I never imagined us to meet up at 6 o'clock outside the lava buildings.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, it's helped out so much, like, and it's helped out for your sessions when we obviously go back properly into the gym and everything else, because your fitness levels are going to be 10 times better than before you finish, because we've always tried to beat around the bush, and we've done cardio, but we've always done like boxing, and then we'll do like slam balls, and we've done different cardio exercises, whereas this has just been now 40k every single day, getting out what we can. And as you said, like, we're not out of breath. A couple of hills were a bit, but that's the norm.
I mean, I said at the end of it, it's like easy,
which
is great.
And like, what's good with you is as well, I mean, we went back yesterday for the first time in the studio, but you're now like cycling to the gym as well. You've got a car. And you're cycling to the gym, do you know what I mean? And that doesn't sound nothing major to people who are probably listening, but like, you could easily just get the car and it'd take you 2 minutes to the gym. But to do that 10-minute bike ride there and that 10-minute bike ride back, it all adds up. And now you're looking at your watch going, right, I want to beat my time, I want to beat my calories, I want to beat this today. And that's the perfect goal you should have, like.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. As I said, you know, 2 months ago, I'd be getting in that car. I ain't riding down the dock to the gym. It just ain't happening. But now I'm like, I'm not getting that. You know, there's not a chance I'm setting foot in that car. And again, that's the lifestyle change, which I have to say is a positive from the lockdown. If I have to take a positive, you know, I'm going to be a bit selfish and say it has helped me. Yeah.
Like, I think as well, like, one thing that I'm looking forward to when we go back to the gym, as I said, is if we can keep it up with this nice weather, and we can keep the bike rides up, and we can keep, you know, doing the weights that we've done like yesterday and stuff. Like, as I say, you know, this has kind of gave me a bit more motivation as well, because, you know, just like yourself, you know, you're doing the same job every day. You're doing that. I've never lost passion for it, but you get to a point where it's like, okay, here's the next client. Let's do this, and that, and then they go, let's do this, and that, and then there you go. And it's not, like I said, every hour's different with a different client, but it's gave me a passion. It's gave me something to look forward to. But I want to know your goal now, because what we said was we wanted to get to like, what, 13 stone 10 by the Grand National, was it? Something like that, or 14 stone.
The national ones,
and like, we were on the bike the other day, and you said, I was actually thinking that you've reached that goal, even though we've had lockdown. Just obviously the bike rides are helping in that way. You're still losing weight doing it. But I want to know what's your next goal now. Have you got something for August, or have you got something for Christmas, or what's your next goal?
think the goal for me now, it's not so much I want to be 13 stone by this date or whatever. I think it's just to keep this momentum up and push further. Obviously, getting back in the gym, doing the social distancing one-to-one PT sessions is going to help massively. The bike rides are great, and the weight's continuing to fall off, which is fantastic. But for me now, I really want to get into shape. I think by this time next year, I want to look back and be like, who is that person?
Yeah. And I think you will, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, yeah. I think mentally I'm there. Physically, I'm not yet, but I'm 100% there, and that I will be there. And I think that's the type of motivation that I need. From obviously myself foremost. You need to motivate yourself. That's a key factor. But obviously, from you as well as my PT, and also as my best friend, it does help and spur me on. So. Yeah, maybe we'll do a podcast in a year's time, and maybe I'll get my top off.
Well, do you know
what's PG? We'll keep it PG.
You don't have to, don't worry. I was again, just before we go, but I always say, people message me when I put a video of you, and I'll always screenshot you them and tell you what people are saying.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who go, wow, he's lost so much weight, or wow, he's doing brilliant, isn't he? And my reply is, and it probably comes across a bit like, I don't know, I don't even know the word, but it probably doesn't come across right how I want it to. But I always say, this is just the start, because we are still only 9 months in. Yeah. We are still in lockdown. We have had so many things interrupting the sessions, in such a short space of time, and you being a 13 stone 7 as you are now isn't what we want. We still want to progress that. Say for instance, you said, I want to be 12 stone, and that's my goal, and that doesn't mean that we're going to start. That's a goal, and then you've got to build and maintain. And that's what I always say when people say you're doing brilliant. I go, well, yeah, but we haven't got anywhere near where we want.
We haven't even touched the surface.
But it's crazy, because you've just said, I want to look back in a year's time at yourself and go, who was that guy?
Yeah.
We're already kind of doing that now. In that North Face jumper the other day, the white one. You look like a totally different person in that. Yeah. In that new photo compared to that one. It's
the old seems skin tight on me. I don't know why I even left the house with that on is beyond me. Because I look at that photo and I feel sick. I look like Mr. Blood. I'm like, geez, what is going on? And then I put it on, and I was like, wow, it's quite baggy on me now. And it was such a good feeling.
That's one thing I'm going to say about you, Tom. Your impressions are off the scale. There is no one that you cannot do.
I do love an impression.
If you had to choose one, who's your best impression?
Oh, God, that's hard. I don't know. I like doing the gingerbread man from Shrek.
Go on.
Not the gumdrop button. Shrek's a good one. I like doing Donkey. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. It's absolutely hilarious, if I'm being honest.
Oh my God.
No, I do. I've always done it. My dad used to always do the impressions, and he used to always try and copy him, and it's just come from there. And I will
literally say somebody's name or someone or a character, and you will just go into that impression, and I'm like, how can you get into that?
I listened to it once, and 9 times out of 10 I can do it off the bat. Sometimes I might have to listen a few times, but I remember watching Friday Night Dinner for the first time and hearing Jim, and I was just like, hello, Chucky. It's just do it. Brilliant. Remember absolutely laughing.
And honestly, every person, I reckon you could do an hour-long show just impressions, and I reckon I would know who you are. If I knew that person, if I actually knew of that character, I reckon I would guess them all just by how you do it.
It's just funny.
You are unbelievable, Larry.
Comedian laddie.
So we'll wrap it up there. But like, listen, you know, like we've done about an hour or so there. As I say, you know, you're the first one I wanted on. I asked you literally this morning. I just thought, you know what, it's time to do it. I want to do it. And like with no hesitation, you was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
literally, thanks for coming on. You know, I'm excited for whatever these sessions hold from now on, and these bike rides, and whatever lockdown's going to throw at us, and anything else. Because as I said, you know, I think we're both kind of just so motivated at the moment just to get to where we want to be, both in our jobs, but both mentally and physically as well. And I think, as you said, in a year's time, or you know, let alone 9 months time, 6 months time, whatever, in a year's time, it's going to be like absolutely amazing seeing the transformation in you, like from even now till then, let alone 9 months ago.
Exactly, yeah. No, I appreciate it. Obviously, absolute honour to be first on your podcast, which I think is a great thing. I'm looking forward to seeing more of them, to be honest, Jay.
Nice one. Cheers, Tom. We'll wrap it up there, and I'll let you have some fun for the rest of the night.
Shady. Peace to all my fans.
Nice one, Tom.
See you later.
Ta-ra.